Flores, Ordóñez, Pacho, Incapelli and Estupinian across the back four. Moises Caicedo, Vite and Franco in the midfield three, and the other three outfield changes all in the attack. Yeboah, Angulo and Minda across the front three. Ene Valencia, the significant absentee for Ecuador, but Gonzalo Plata as well, unable to shake off any injury. He's also ruled out. Massa Gomez of Chile is our official this evening. In charge of VAR, Jose Cabero, also from Chile. Marquinhos and Piero Incapelli, the two captains, the two centre-backs, come forward for the coin toss.
Insignia de la Federación. Si usted gana allí, ¿qué lugar o el inicio? Si usted gana este lugar, el primer tiempo Brasil. Señores, vamos a preguntar.
Ancelotti's first Brazil 11, then it's 9 changes from the team last time out that lost against Argentina. Alisson's in goal, Vanderson, Marquinhos is a debut for Alexandro then at left back. Midfield 3, Casemiro's back in, Bruno Guimaraes and Gerson, and then a front 3 with Richarlison through the middle, Vinicius Junior off the left, and the teenager Estevao off the right. Gonzalo Rauche, the Liga de Quito goalkeeper, who have only found out that he was starting here a very short while ago. The ball being delivered. Out of the back pack, onto the pitch, and kick-off imminent. Minutes or so behind schedule. Piero Massa eager to get things underway as the countdown begins. We're underway then here in Guayaquil. It's Ecuador against Brazil in World Cup qualification. Ecuador in their traditional yellow, and as a result Brazil in their change blue shirts, going left to right. It's an early touch for the debutant, Alexandro. And an early challenge comes in from Moises Caicedo to bring the first roar from the crowd. International break right at the end of the club season, when many players would have liked to be on the beach. Instead, thrust into the action here. Richarlison chasing after this one. Well read by Incapelli. Goes back to his goalkeeper and under pressure from Richarlison. The ball comes off the Brazil striker and behind for a goal kick. Already moving across his technical area, Bark working out instructions several years as the assistant to Jorge Sampaoli. Played with the Argentinian national team a number of different club roles as well before striking out on his own. But certain characteristics very Sampaoli-esque. It's Brazil on the ball. Ordóñez watches the ball back to Gerson. Casemiro out wide, down the left once again. Chance to cross. And defender does well once again. It should be a goal kick. Vinicius Junior unable to get the better of Ordóñez. Big test for Joël Ordóñez, the 21-year-old, plays his club football in Belgium with Club Bruges. Casemiro nods it forward, headed down by Caicedo. Here's a bit of space for Estupiñán. Don't have a natural striker in the 11 this evening, Ecuador, with the absence of Ene Valencia. Leo Campaña also not available. Did have Kevin Rodriguez as an option to play as a more natural striker, but decided to go with Nilson Angulo. We'll be hoping that a bit of pace and movement will perhaps be the difference. The Ecuador side with that pace that maybe is set up more to try and play on the counter, even if they are here at home against Brazil. Long throw down the right, Richarlison does well. Brings the ball down, plays it down the line. Bruno Guimaraes tries to help it on its way. It's headed in behind, it could be a chance here for Ecuador. Strong challenge, and an illegal one, according to Piero Massa. It's going to be a free kick for Ecuador. Casemiro wants words. Alan Minder it was, brought down onto the challenge of Anderson. To put the ball into the area. It's a good ball towards the back post. Flicked away. However, Bruno Guimaraes unable to prevent it. Well, he has stopped it from going out from the corner to throw it. Quickly taken. All the way back to Valle. It's the home team on the charge once again. Brazil do well to get numbers back, pinch the ball and get it clear. Again, Valle put under pressure and hurried into a somewhat rushed clearance. Brazil perhaps trying to take advantage of that late change of goalkeeper. It's a debut as well for Gonzalo Valle, who does play his football at this stadium with Liga de Quito. very, very inexperienced at this level, the 29-year-olds. Nicely done. Space here for Alan Franco. Exchanges passes, back with Alan Franco. Franco, again, looking for another 1-2. And Alexandro, in the end, gets back into position. Alan Franco plays his club football in Brazil with Atletico Mineiro. Looking to make those forward runs, the link between the midfield and the attack. Just in behind Angulo. Leaving Moises Caicedo and Pedro Vite as the two deeper midfielders in the middle. It's a risky pass from Caicedo, and Pacho does ever so well. Excellent pass into space. Here comes Estupinian now. Estupinian has Minder out wide, uses him, and Minder is unable to get beyond Vanderson. Instead out, shoved off the ball by Estupinian. Junior sees the ball to feet, goes to Richarlison, looks for the ball back, cuts out again. Lovely turn as the referee says get back to your feet. Ordonez comes away with it and launches it long. Angulo will look to chase, it's going to be too long and will run through for Alisson. Casemiro taking a very familiar role for him, dropping deep between the two centre-backs to try and initiate things for Brazil. Tackle comes in, steals it from Vanderson, however. Casemiro wins it swiftly back, releases and looks for the run of Estevao. Again, Piero Incapié is across to cover the space behind Estupinian, the Bayer Leverkusen centre-back. Into the midfield. Ecuador, when they do win it, do look to get it forward quickly, with Estupinian particularly stepping in to the midfield from that left-back position. He can be caught out of position, however, which is why we've seen Incapié already have to be very mindful of that space left behind the Brighton fullback. Chance for Angulo to attack down the right. Angulo's now gone over to the right. Yeboah is through the middle. He's going to wait for some service. Ball comes into the middle. Marquinhos is there. And it's coolly done by Brazil. Richarlison back helping out. Marquinhos taking risks in possession, eventually given away by Casemiro. Caicedo switches onto the far side with Ordonez. There's Angulo in front of him, but the youngster decides to slow things down. All over the top. Estupinian's very hard at the pitch. It's a low cross. There's no one really there. And it does allow Brazil to clear once again. There's something that perhaps at times will be noticeable, that the absence of that natural penalty box presence for Ecuador. And maybe Ene Valencia would have been a little bit more alert to that. Another ball over the top. Brought down by Munda. Well defended in the end. Already 1-0 up against Uruguay in the other game going on at the moment as we kick off match day 15. Uruguay's excellent run under Gustavo Alfaro looking to continue. Two players down here, Jerson just caught as he comes sliding in there. Angulo with the studs that almost scrape over the shin of Jerson inadvertently. Coming into this game unbeaten in 7 games since they lost to Brazil away back in September of last year. 4 wins and 3 draws since then to take their place second in the group. Bearing in mind they were also docked points at the start of this World Cup qualifying campaign due to fielding an ineligible player last time in the qualifying campaign. So impressive that they take that position second, and an indication of just where Ecuadorian football has got to in South America. Haven't lost here at home in the World Cup qualification in 13. Let's go all the way back to 2021 when Peru won here for the last time a team came to Ecuador and won. From Richarlison catches the face of Incapié, just looking to hold off the defender. Balls back with Valle again, under pressure from Richarlison. The keeper this occasion does find feet. Out wide for Ordóñez. Forward comes the fullback. Ball over the top. Yeboah will chase it. Yeboah backwards with Angulo. Franco's there. Vite ushers Ordóñez to go forward. Pose starts the game from Ecuador. Pass very nearly cut out by Bruno Guimaraes as he gets a foot in. Brazil have now won back possession. It's a late challenge in the midfield on Jerson. 15 minutes gone then, no goals. Sandro, the Lille defender, making his debut this evening for Brazil. Team Forest's Murillo started in the last game, that defeat against Argentina. He's another one of those unavailable. This time round for Carlo Ancelotti. Caicedo, key man really for Ecuador after a fabulous season in the end with Chelsea. Always going to be difficult for Caicedo after the staggering amount of money that Chelsea paid to Brighton, but this season culminating in Chelsea, of course, lifting the Conference League title. Caicedo maybe didn't quite live up to it. Kind of midfielder in excess of £100 million, but was very much the key man for the Blues. And at the age of 23 is already the key man for Sebastián Becasese in Ecuador. Really, again, another sign of how strong Ecuador are and look to be in coming years. When you look at the likes of Caicedo at the age of 23, William Pacho, Champions League winner now with PSG, also 23. Ordóñez at right back, playing in Europe at the age of 21. Stupinian's been around for ages and still is only 27 years of age. Vite, 23, Yeboah, 24, Angulo, 21, Minda, 22. So a very young starting 11. That in recent years just seems to continue producing high quality young players that are now going off to Europe early and finding success. Vinicius Junior keeps it in play. We'll have a run at Ordóñez once again. Skips away from her on this occasion. Vinicius Junior getting doubled up and goes away from another. Pulls the ball back inside the box and it's put behind for a corner. Excellent little burst from Vinicius Junior. About to take the corner. Ominous looking sky above Guayaquil. The outswinger from Estevao drops into a dangerous position. It's still not yet cleared. Vinicius Junior clips it again towards the back post. Alexander tries to get up there. He's just eased out it by Piero Incapié. Eventually the ball is put out for a throw. Down into the corner, tries to dig out across. It's well defended by Incapié once again. Sandro wide for Vinicius Junior, again goes on the outside. Feels as though he's got the beating of pace for Ordóñez. Ordóñez recovers his position well, and the crowd respond in turn. Over the top that Vanderson's unable to bring under control. Heads it forward into the hands of Gonzalo Valle. costly. Estevao's onto it, tries to release Richarlison. May still fall here, Jerson. Vinicius Junior, saved by Rashid. Excellent stop from the late replacement to thwart Brazil. Really was the game's first real chance. Such is the confidence of the young man, Estevao. Fully expected him to take that himself and go for goal from the edge of the area rather than try to find Richarlison. Pressure at the back on Alexandro, and eventually a free kick has been given in favour of Brazil. This is the moment. Stupinian caught on the ball by Estevao. In the end, Ordonez, I think, again, does just enough. There's a little touch just there. Ordonez gets there ahead of Vinicius Junior. Hits it off the Real Madrid forward. Stupinian's mistake. Caicedo in to win it back once again for Ecuador. Angulo down the right, looks to have a run at Alexandro. He's run out of room, and Sandro is able to shield the ball. Well, there's Hernan Galindez, the goalkeeper who was supposed to be starting this evening for Huracan. He plays for Huracan in Argentina, supposed to be starting this evening for Ecuador. Huracan side that reached the final of Argentina's Apertura tournament just at the weekend before losing to Platense. Galindez's miserable week or so continues with injury here that denies him the chance to start here against Brazil. Shot from range. Alisson called into action for the first time this evening, albeit a comfortable one for the Liverpool keeper. Yeboah trying his luck. Caicedo receives the ball back from Vite. We'll use the Vancouver Whitecaps ban again as Vite moves it on. Back to Pacho. And here's Alan Franco. Franco wide for Ordonez. Don't necessarily have anyone that can attack across when they get into those wide positions. If Brazil are back in numbers, would always favour in that scenario Marquinhos and Alexandro. Stupinian's being caught. Another free kick for Ecuador. Estevao it was on this occasion, back trying to help out his team. Undone by the quick footwork of Pervis Stupinian. This is the long range effort a moment ago from Yeboah. Just bouncing a little awkwardly for Alisson. Stupinian will take it. Alisson comes, doesn't get there. Well, the keeper comes to punch. Gets nothing, or very little on it. And the ball falls at the back post and ends up over the top of the crossbar. There's an appeal for a free kick on Alisson, which I don't think is coming their way, and it shouldn't do. Just misjudges it. It will be a corner for Ecuador. Taken short to Caicedo. Caicedo will cross. It's a low one at the near post, headed away by Richarlison. Vite. All wide for Minda. Minda's pass in field is intercepted. Estevao likewise unable to find a teammate. Will hand possession back to Ecuador. Game of very, very few chances so far, but Ecuador are looking relatively comfortable. Another cross in from the right. This one goes all the way through, or will go behind for a goal kick. Delivery from Ordóñez, and neither Minda nor Yeboah could get on the end of it. Valencia has scored 5 goals in 12 games so far during this campaign. Is the record goal scorer for Ecuador, so a significant loss. During this campaign, there's a real lack of goals among the 11 that's fielded tonight. Chance here for Estevao to run at the back line. He's got some space to run into the box now. Estevao. Incapaid comes across and gets it just enough on the cross. Takes some pace off it, and Vajay can collect inside the 6-yard box. Such an important role that Estupiñán, or that Incapaid has in the absence sometimes of Estupiñán. Caicedo just told to calm it after a biting challenge through the back of Gerson. Richarlison wide for Vinicius Junior. He's taking a very wide position, but again goes on the outside of Ordóñez. He's forced to cut back. Ancelotti talking in the week about getting Vinicius Junior back to the levels that we've seen at Real Madrid for Brazil. One of the key things you'd imagine that Brazil will be looking for. There's a chance here with Anderson. It's a heavy first touch, and it sees the chance go begging, but Anderson wins it back, pulls the ball into space. Yellow shirts onto it in a flash, and they're able to clear away. As I was just saying, for Ancelotti as a manager that himself has overseen the best of Vinicius Junior, that will be one of the keys for the Italian. One of the keys that the Brazilian Football Association would have been looking to at appointing Ancelotti. Really, ever since Chiche left in 2022, it's been nothing short of a mess for Brazil. Dorival Jr., the outgoing manager, so a difficult spell replaced now by Ancelotti eventually. Fernando Diniz was the interim coach before Dorival Jr. He too struggling, despite at the time leading Fluminense to a Libertadores title. And now Brazil will finally be hoping they've got their man. Will have forwarded the time, as unlikely as that sounds in Brazilian football, to now get themselves back on some sure footing and in the best possible shape to go and challenge once again for a World Cup next summer. Vinicius Jr. down the left, and it's a great challenge from Caicedo. Wonderfully timed. Another corner for Brazil, taken short, whipped in towards the back post. Casemiro's there, backpedaling off balance, can't keep the header down. Again, between the centre-backs. I've seen a great deal from the other two central midfielders, Gerson and Bruno Guimarães for Brazil. Incapié steps in to win it ahead of Richarlison. Vinicius Jr. sliding in is late to Ordóñez. He too will be told just to cool things. Here's good refereeing from Piero Massa. Clear intention with the touch that was taken by Ordóñez to try and win it. Ordóñez's long legs just take that extra touch, a fraction of a second before that sliding challenge comes in. No need for anything more than the free kick. Minutes to go then before half-time. Still goalless here in Guayaquil between Ecuador and Brazil. Approaching half-time, still Paraguay 1, Uruguay 1. But for now, would see Paraguay go level with Ecuador on 24 points. They've just been beneath Ecuador on goal difference, with Brazil still in fourth, a point above Uruguay as things stand. Here's Angulo stepping inside, looks to exchange passes on the edge of the area with Vite. Goes down, there's a roar from the crowd looking for a free kick. Yeboah, Vite. Estupiñán again, stepping into that midfield, inverting into that position, adding the extra body there for Ecuador at times. Chelsea man. An arrow onto this far side for Angulo. Stupinian back to Angulo. Maybe lost some of the momentum that the Caicedo pass created due to Angulo's initial touch not being the best. And Ecuador have had to go back to halfway instead. Vite, it's another good pass. Angulo once more lays it off for Stupinian with a cross in. Header on goal by Yeboah, stretching. Couldn't keep it on target. Nicely worked by the home team. Yeboah wearing the number 9 shirt. Trying his best to be that number 9 presence for Ecuador. Only made his debut last year, Yeboah, in a friendly against Guatemala. He's actually born in Germany, John Yeboah, to one Ecuadorian parent, one Ghanaian parent, and to play his youth football for Germany, in fact. Still a lot of confidence shown in Gonzalo Vage. By the defenders who continue to use him and look for those passes. To Allison. Marquinhos splits the midfield with a pass into the feet of Richarlison, who takes a heavy first touch. Here's Yeboah. Angulo switched onto this near side to end the first half. As Stupinian making the run on the outside, and instead switches to the far side. It's well controlled. Maybe a chance to cross. Alexandro does enough defensively for Brazil at the expense of a corner. Vite goes across to take this one. Plenty to aim at in yellow. The ball's a flat delivery at the near post, where again Richarlison is well positioned for Brazil to get it clear. Into the channel, the idea was there for Yeboah, just a little back heel, still with him. Angulo, lovely step over to get away, surrounded by 3, goes to the byline, crosses into the back post, no one there. Fabulous bit of wing play from Nilson Angulo, the 21-year-old. He's not played for Ecuador since June of 2024. a 3-1 win against Bolivia. And 2 playing his football in Europe with Anderlecht. Having come through here in Guayaquil with Liga de Quito. And another one of those who greatly impressed at youth level for Ecuador, as they tend to do now in South American youth competitions, whether it's U17 or U20. It's no longer a surprise to see almost every iteration of those teams every couple of years when they come through to have 2 or 3 players that you look at and think will have a bright future in Europe. Nicely done to make space. Shots blocked by Casemiro. Alan Franco eased off the pitch by Alexandro, but it will be a throw for Ecuador. Franco will leave it for Ordóñez. Approaching half-time. And it's well defended by Alexandro. Just uses his body well to see that one behind for a goal kick. One of the veterans in this Brazil side, Alexandro now. 41st appearance for the national team at 34 years of age. Back in South America with his club football, playing for Flamengo. But back in the Brazil lineup here for the first time since Brazil went out of the World Cup in 2022. Of course, they lost once again to European opposition in Croatia. It's been in and out of the game so far. The 18-year-old who's set to join Chelsea now in this transfer window. And finally, after they invested that significant money on him when he was still a couple of years almost shy of that 18th birthday, now free to make the move to West London. Vinicius Junior. He's had a difficult first half, Vinicius Junior. Only really the once, you would say, he's truly got away from Joel Ordóñez. Ecuador have done well, in fairness as well, of providing support around Ordóñez to make life even more difficult for Vinicius Junior. Casemiro. Just a 1 minute added on here at the end of the first half. No real stoppages as the ball's put forward towards Richarlison to chase. He won't be able to catch that one, and Valle will allow it to skip off the turf. Launched long, and with that, the half-time whistle blows here in Guayaquil. 45 minutes up here, and still goalless between Ecuador and Brazil. Much for Don Carlo to think about his first 45 minutes as Brazil coach. Doesn't produce a huge amount of excitement, neither side looking back on any real number of clear chances. But a lot to think about for both coaches. Brazil straight off down the tunnel. Ecuador huddling together to exchange words before heading to the dressing room. A show of unity for Lettre. after a positive first half from the home team. Certainly looking like a side unflustered from the visit of Brazil. Even if they haven't been able to necessarily generate too many goal-scoring opportunities themselves. Gonzalo Valge, the late replacement for Hernan Galindez, hasn't had a lot to do in the Ecuador goal. In what has been a fairly even 45 minutes. And the crowd now able to take a bit of a breather here at the Estadio Monumental.
Kuasa Immunity X digunakan. Mereka adalah alfa yang berjaya ke separuh akhir.
Matlamat pertandingan ini 6 orang anak muda akan disatukan.
Pertukaran ahli kumpulan menjadi cabaran.
You nak dapatkan chemistry dalam kumpulan yang baru bukannya mudah.
Hafiz nampak macam performer profesional.
Awak kena kejar posisi nombor 1.
Kita nak awak menang dah.
Kegigihan dan semangat siapakah yang bakal menjadi ahli pertama? Big Stage Alpha, siaran langsung Ahad di Astro Ria dan Astro Go.
Only where love is written in capitals. Only the clay where champions fight. Only the glide, the slide, the might. Only where tennis and everybody rhyme. Only where rituals live a trace. Only a stage for courage and fire. Only here where all dreams transpire. Only at Roland Garros.
Welcome to the KLM Open, a tournament rich in history.
Over a century of golfing glory looms over the international.
And he's played it beautifully.
The stars of the sport make every moment count as history awaits its next champion. The KLM Open.
He's got it. What a two that is.
Live on Golf Channel.
Dah lama aku pendam benda ni. Kini telah tiba masanya.
Assalamualaikum. Nak ikut boleh?
Semua orang ingat kau dah mati, Boran. Kau dapat peluang start balik. Lepas tu ini kau boleh.
Absolutely remarkable.
Everyone needs a little magic in their life.
How did you do it?
Where imagination takes control.
Wingardium Leviosa. Full of magical creatures. Nothing to worry about.
Everything can change.
You can talk.
Be spellbound.
I wish for a fairy tale life.
The magic awaits you.
Shall we?
Step into our magical world and stream any way you like, up to 4 devices, easily. Now we eagerly await the next whistle and to show you what we're made of. Every doubt becomes a dare. Every challenge, an opportunity.
And here we go.
Once you've witnessed greatness, you can't wait to see what's next. Watch Harimau Malaya in action, live on Astro Arena, Arena Bola, and Astro Go.
Have you ever seen anything quite like this? A moment of history in MotoGP. For the first time in over 7 decades, the French fans celebrate a home-run winner. Oh my goodness, can you believe it? He's lost the lead. Well, just unbelievable. Marco Bezzecchi wins Motorland Aragon Circuit. Anything can happen.
The MotoGP, live on Spo TV.
This is where a legacy begins. A greatness within. A game of body and spirit now rising to the world stage. Talent and skill shines. Striking, strengthening every move. Applying lessons every player excels at. Aksi legasi kini mendominasi Selcom Digi Sepak Takraw League live on Astro.
For the first time, MasterChef history will have partners in the kitchen. Mothers and daughters, best friends, husbands and wives, a divorced couple.
Leave me alone.
That can get a little complicated.
Let's see who's the best. We have the best chemistry. Gonna get spicy.
This is a freaking train wreck.
Just hold on.
This is better than my restaurants.
A definite dynamic duo. Well done.
A new season of MasterChef only on Hits Now.
Not getting anything on it, and the ball falling dangerously at the back posts. Not far away from the head of Joel Ordóñez. Estevao again having a run at the back line of Ecuador. Incapae doing enough to stop the teenager on this occasion. His cross eventually into the hands of Vache. There was a header late on in the first half from Casemiro, off target. Good cross from the far side to find the Manchester United midfielder. Off balance, he couldn't hit the target. And then shortly before the break, a little sight at goal, a half chance for John Yeboah, as Ecuador also put a good delivery in, this time from Estupiñán. Yeboah stretching, couldn't keep the header down. So 0-0 at half-time here between Ecuador and Brazil. The other half-time score from Asunción is Paraguay 1, Uruguay 0. The other game this evening kicks off in about an hour's time in Santiago. Chile are hosting Argentina. And here are the scores and what's to come on match day 15. As I just said, Paraguay 1-0 up. And at present joining Ecuador, level on points in second with that win against Uruguay, who would still have work to do in terms of their qualification. Chile against Argentina later on, and then tomorrow, Colombia host Peru, and Venezuela take on Bolivia. Big game that between Venezuela and Bolivia, as we look at the league table, with the top 6 qualifying directly to the expanded World Cup next summer in 2026. 7th place going through to that playoff. At the moment, Venezuela sit there, but it's very, very tight. And you see Bolivia dreaming about returning to a World Cup. Peru and Chile really need to start picking up points during this round. Chile hosting Argentina tonight. It's going to be difficult for them. They are very much on the outside of Ricardo Gareca, manager of Chile, reportedly clinging on to his job ahead of the game against Argentina in an hour's time. These two sides will be there next year at the World Cup, but it's very much now, well, certainly as far as Brazil are concerned, about finding momentum, finding some form, and for Carlo Ancelotti, really finding his team, his 11, how he's going to set this team up. Familiar with a number of players from his time in Europe, but as Vinicius Junior knows all too well, reproducing club form at international level is not that easy. Of course, Carlo Ancelotti will need time. It's unrealistic to expect too much, perhaps, this evening from Ancelotti, having worked with the players for just a couple of days in the build-up to this game. And he will, of course, be hoping to get certain players back. Look at Eder Militao and Gabriel, the two centre-backs, Real Madrid and Arsenal. Rodrigo, not available to him either from Real Madrid. Another player that he knows well. No Rafinha tonight. And of course, still no Neymar. It's not a player that Ancelotti has certainly closed the door on by any means. Neymar back with Santos, still struggling with injuries in and out of that Santos team. With a year to go before the World Cup, Neymar will be desperate to prove his fitness and get back into the...
This 11th June, join us at Pavilion KL for our Big Stage Alpha Showcase. Meet the finalists you've been waiting for, with performances by Hale, Sheila Amza, Nadira, Wani Kari, Isaac Vu, Coex, Akim, and Amir Masdi. Be there early and show us your My Astro app to get into the Super Fan Zone. Plus, you can win Big Stage Alpha fan meeting passes with Astro Rewards. This is the time to show your support. Be there at Pavilion KL.
Welcome to the KLMO, a tournament rich in history.
Over a century of golfing glory looms over the International.
Oh! And he's played it beautifully.
The stars of the sport make every moment count as history awaits its next champion. The KLM Open.
He's got it. What a two that is.
Live on Golf Channel.
Godfather, good.
They built empires in the shadows. Theirs was a reign of blood. Once they rewrote the rules.
If nobody sees it, it didn't happen. Never ran into friends, and always keep your mouth shut.
Until betrayal broke them all.
I thought it was you, Fredo. It was the Mulan.
Now, a new name rises among the legends. The Alto Knights join the league. Stream any way you like on up to 4 devices easily.
Have you ever seen anything quite like this? A moment of history in MotoGP. For the first time in over 7 decades, the French fans celebrate a home-run winner. Oh my goodness, can you believe it? He's lost the lead. Well, just unbelievable. Marco Bezzecchi wins Motorland Aragon Circuit. Anything can happen.
The MotoGP, live on SPO TV. The world's top shuttlers are ready to spread their wings in flight. As the call of the Garuda spurs them to action.
What a battle!
Watch them soar to victory's pinnacle. The Indonesia Open 2025.
The most intense pressure, but what entertainment!
Live on Astro Badminton and Astro Go.
Memang best gila, sumpah tak tipu. 10 to 10 lah.
Honestly, it was so fun.
Nak ikut boleh?
Isi dalam ni rapat dengan rakyat-rakyat Malaysia, lawak-lawak pun nostalgia.
Saya rasa macam sangat-sangat terimbau masa zaman-zaman kecil.
I've been laughing all the way.
Lawak-lawak yang memang tidak terahat. Korang macam,
wait, korang kena rasa bangga sebab ini adalah produk Malaysia.
Dia melebihi expectation saya, kena enjoy.
Ada faham?
The real battle begins now. This is the ultimate test of a champion's strength and strategy. Every serve, every spike, shapes dreams. Who has what it takes in the first GP of the year? Aksi Legacy kini mendominasi. Celcom Digi Sepak Takraw live on Astro Arena and Astro Go.
Not Rob means warrior in Thai. He is so tough and so strong. Wow, say, a technician with knockout power. What a finish! This is going to be a really fun fight.
One championship represents the highest levels in martial arts on the planet.
One Fight Night, live on Astro Sports Plus and Astro Go.
Only where love is written in capitals. Only the clay where champions fight. Only the glide, the slide, the might, Only where tennis and everybody rhyme. Only where rituals live a trace. Only a stage for courage and fire. Only here where all dreams transpire. Only at Roland Garros.
And it's been defensively really where Brazil have struggled during World Cup qualifying. You compare these two sides. Ecuador conceding only 5 goals in their 14 games, as opposed to Brazil conceding 16. There is going to be a change for Ecuador, as we understand. Angelo Preciado is the player who's going to be coming in. He's going to be replacing Alan Minda. Preciado, ordinarily a right back, albeit an attacking right back. I just wonder whether that would mean a change of shape from Sebastian Becasese to a back three. Adonez, who's been playing at right back in the first half, but is more of a centre-back, now will maybe form part of a back three with Pacho and Incapié. Estupinian is that left wing-back, Preciado the right wing-back. Midfield three remains the same, Yeboah and Angulo as the front two. That does indeed look as though what it will be, with Preciado quickly off down the right-hand side. Angelo Preciado plays for Sparta Prague. And another one of those coming through with Independiente del Valle. An absolute powerhouse, really, and a real conveyor belt of talent in recent years, winning the Comebol Sudamericana, the Europa League equivalent, twice in the last few years. Maybe an early chance here for the home team. Angulo's behind, clips the ball to that post. Preciado sees the ball just behind him, and an offside flag eventually goes up. Slightly delayed the pass from Yeboah, just saw Angulo stray off. Sign of a good manager, though, from Becasese, up against Ancelotti, that he has to change goalkeepers late, minutes before the start of the game, and a decent first half all the same, but still comes out for the second, making a substitution which, again, changes shape. Does look early on in the first couple of minutes to just given Ecuador maybe a little bit more balance. Angulo over on that left-hand side, Preciado getting really high up the pitch. Still only 44 years of age, Sebastian Becasese. Very nearly given away in the midfield. It is indeed given away to Casemiro. Casemiro looks for Richarlison, who goes to ground very easily. wide left with the backup of Estupinian. Franco looks to play it early. Alexandro's header doesn't get a great deal of distance. And good start to the second half from Ecuador. Alexandro. Misplaced pass down the right. Now it's being asked to do a bit more defending. Preciado. Straight into the action since coming off the bench. Preciado. It's hard to get to his feet. Looked as though he was being pulled down there by Alexandro. And in fact, the free kick goes the way of Brazil. A little unfortunate not to win the free kick, in my opinion. To say he was getting around Alexandro. Clear hand in the shirt. Unnoticed by Piero Massa. Plays it safe. Ecuador controlling the start of this second half, finding Caicedo, the orchestrator in the middle of the park. Again looking for one of those raking crossfield passes. It's this time cut out by Vanderson. Before Estupinian gives away the free kick on Bruno Guimaraes. Premier League meeting in the midfield there between Brighton's Estupinian and Newcastle's Bruno Guimaraes. Estevao, over halfway, head up, looking for a crossfield pass to bring Vinicius Junior. It's a great pass and a great take on the chest of the number 10. Vinicius Junior inside the area, keeps the ball in play, pulls it back to Richarlison. A bit of a swing and a miss from the Tottenham striker. And now Ecuador can break through Alan Franco. Franco looks to play it into the space and allow Yeboah to attack it. Puts too much on the pass and Marquinhos steps in for Brazil. Bruno. Vinicius Junior again. Goes on the outside of Ordóñez, and Ordóñez does well once more. Vinicius Junior shows a little bit too much. The 21-year-old who's shown he's got that yard of pace to be able to stay with Vinicius Junior. Richarlison looking to the sky, half chance that he saw, went begging there, went at it with his left foot, missed the ball completely as it struck his standing leg. Corner Brazil, but not before Piero Massa has words with those tussling for position inside the box. Lengthy delay in the taking of this corner. This was the chance before for Richarlison as Vinicius Junior got away from Ordóñez for only the second time. Desperate defending from the youngster, but Vinny Junior does well, pulls it back as well for Richarlison. Yard of space and a complete miss kick. Not scored for Brazil, Richarlison, since the 2022 World Cup in the win against South Korea in the round of 16. It's not, in fact, played since the end of October. Leads the line here tonight. But does have still got a decent international record despite the lack of goals of late. 20 and 48, not a bad international record. That is perhaps telling of a real lack of depth and quality in what would be a traditional number 9 role for Brazil. By and large, creating a lot more of those wide forwards in recent years, like the likes of Estival falling into that category. And it will be the youngster to take the corner, finally. The outswinger, a deep one, too deep in fact, as it goes all the way through. Bruno Guimarães will get there for Brazil and be forced all the way back to Alisson. Liverpool's goalkeeper thumps it forward, it's flicked on. Preciado's there. And it's worked out well for Ecuador. Here's Angulo. He's run into a bit of a blind alley there and held off by Gerson. Moises Caicedo furious, feeling as though Angulo was clearly having his shirt pulled by Gerson. So much so the referee does just need a final word with Caicedo to say cool it with the protests. Well, Angulo himself puts the arm out and grabs the shirt of Gerson, I think, even actually before the Brazilian in his attempts to hold him off. So have some sympathy there with the referee for not awarding the free kick to Ecuador, despite what the crowd and Moises Caicedo might think. Alisson under pressure, puts this one into touch. Still no breakthrough as we tick on towards the hour mark. Good ball down the left. Angulo gone back over onto that side, but he's held up, and now a chance for Brazil to break. Alan Franco for Ecuador, over halfway. Preciado on the outside, he uses the substitute. And Preciado forced backwards. ever so slightly shading the possession here at home this evening, but with not too much to show for it. No yellow cards shown tonight by Piero Massa. Again, he just steps in there. Maybe before it gets to that stage, has words first with Nkapay, then with Richarlison. Stupinian down the left, the cross comes in. It's a good header away by Casemiro. Excellent defensive covering. Another cross, this time into the hands of Alisson, as Brazil and Carlo Ancelotti prepare for their first changes. Matheus Cunha and Gabriel Martinelli, we understand, getting ready to come in. Vinicius Junior, a central position. Quickly won back by Bruno Guimaraes. Here's Vinicius Junior again on the right, stepping inside, trying to come inside the challenge of Nkapay, and between he and Pacho, he quickly snuff out the danger. It's going to be the changes in attack for Brazil. To understand, Richarlison and Estevao will be the two players that are going to make way in a moment. And here is Estevao with maybe his final involvement. Alone down the right, but the youngster sets off. And again, Nkapay, superb. Just stepping across, timing the challenge and winning it back. A few years now in Germany with Bayer Leverkusen for Piero Nkapay. You can see why, still at only the age of 23, that the kind of player that attracts attention from elsewhere. Atletico Madrid, the latest this summer, linked with Nkapay. Decent on the ball, mobile, strong, good in the air. He's got everything really that you'd want from the modern centre-back. Brazil are going to make those changes now. It's going to be Estevao and Richarlison who come off, and coming on in their place, Arsenal's Gabriel Martinelli and Manchester United's new signing, Matheus Cunha. Matheus Cunha started and scored in the last game, that 4-1 defeat against Argentina. Humbling defeat for Brazil. But he started in that role with Vinicius Jr. in the attack. Lightly playing that central role once again this evening for the final 25 minutes or so, with Martinelli and Vinicius Jr. either side in support. And here is Cunha. Receives the ball back from Bruno Guimaraes, takes it on the half turn, is brought down looking for a free kick, nothing given. Very different type of profile to Richarlison. Should just give Incapié and Pacho something different to think about. Bruno Guimaraes looks to thread one behind for Vinicius Jr., cut out by Pacho. Caicedo. Alan Franco. Does find space, Franco, in that little right channel. Vite moves it on again. Onto that left-hand side. It's not too much to aim at in the area for Ecuador. That's sometimes the problem when they get the ball into those wide positions. Even with Enner Valencia fit, the age of 35 now, you do feel as though Ecuador, the development of a top draw number 9 away from being genuine dark horses at times for major competitions. If they could produce a number 9 of the calibre of a Caicedo, of a Pacho, as they do in some of those other positions, then you'd have a spine there of a team that could cause real damage at a World Cup or a Copa America. And the trajectory that Ecuador are on, you wouldn't rule out the possibility at some point in the future of Ecuador lifting one of those major titles. Chance maybe here for them, a shot from the edge of the area, straight at Alisson. Yeboah, it was, away from Casemiro to make space for the shot, didn't quite catch it. Preciado intercepts. Here's Yeboah again. This time the cross in. Marquinhos well placed. Little flick from Martinelli finds Matheus Cunha. And Cunha sets off down the right. Looked like a clear foul there from Cunha as he pulled back on the arm of Incapié. It's cleared away as far as Bruno Guimaraes. And no foul there either on the edge of the area as Vinicius Jr. goes down under the challenge of William Pacho. Piero Massa certainly letting play go on. Still 1-0 between Paraguay and Uruguay. Kick-off in about half an hour between Chile and Argentina. Still no goals here. Ecuador coming forward once again. Here's Yeboah. Caicedo. Wide left for Angulo again. Held up by Vanderson. He comes inside this time. Uses Caicedo. Space on the left on the overlap. Good ball in. Too close to the keeper. Alisson gets there ahead of Angulo. Nicely worked into that left channel for Estupiñán. It's lacking that final ball at times, Ecuador. Brazil are getting ready to make their third change. And it's another one for Chelsea supporters. Andre Santos getting ready to come in. Player who's coming off the back of a brilliant loan in France with Strasbourg. Should come in the next interval to replace Gerson. Ecuador on the attack in the meantime. Yeboah round the corner for Caicedo. Back again. Yeboah lifts it forward looking for Preciado, intercepted by Alexandro. And it's cleared away to halfway. The two games that Ecuador have failed to win at home during this World Cup qualifying campaign have both ended in goalless draws. Colombia and Paraguay both leaving here with a point, having successfully kept out Ecuador, and that is how we are with 20 minutes remaining. Would perhaps be a decent point in the scheme of things for Brazil, who haven't kept a clean sheet away from home in 6 since they won 1-0 against Peru in September of 2023. Just one away win in their last 6 games as well. So as a first game for Ancelotti as a foundation, it wouldn't necessarily be the worst scoreline in the world. Something for them to take into their first home game under their new manager. This is going to be a free kick for Ecuador, given away by Bruno Guimaraes. Newcastle captain on Alan Franco. Caicedo to take. Delivery in, flicks off the head of Alexandro. Good defending from the debutant, behind for a corner. And Caicedo looks to lift the crowd. Heading into the final phase of this game. One goal at either end may well prove to be enough. Caicedo again with delivery. It's dropping inside the area, helped back inside the 6-yard box, and again nodded away by Brazil. And again it was Alexandro. Another corner, this time from the near side. Taken quickly, taken short, too quickly for Piero Massa. Says wait for the whistle. may see a change of approach. Vite will instead deliver into the 6-yard box. Flicked away towards the edge of the area. Not quite right for Franco to be able to hit it first time. Here's Preciado. Preciado's cross blocked and balloons up into the air. Flicked on. Vanderson's there for Brazil. And Bruno Guimaraes hammers it upfield. Calmly done. Gerson still on the field, awaiting that substitution. Here's Alexandro. Vinicius forced back to the fullback. Andre Santos still warming up down there on the touchline. Vinicius Jr. backing up. Ordonez, it's a good ball into the area. It's left for Casemiro. Saved by Vache. It's a good stop in the end from the keeper. Not the most forceful strike from Casemiro, but through a crowded 18-yard box, and the keeper almost going the wrong way. Casemiro just looked aside, foot-it. And the lack of pace on the ball just allowed Vache to be able to readjust. The man he replaced, Hernan Galindez, watching on nervously. Paraguay have doubled their lead at home against Uruguay. So it looks to be another win for Gustavo Alfaro's side as they took their firmer grip on qualifying. Uruguay still in danger. Shooting range, Estupinian from range. Forces a stop from Allison. Oh, he can hit them. Pervis Estupinian on that wonderful left foot of his. Comfortable enough in the end for Allison. Brazil will finally make that change. Andre Santos replacing Gerson, the 21-year-old, one of the outstanding players in France this season for Strasbourg as they finished 7th, qualifying for the Conference League. The idea now that he joins Chelsea. And a change in attack as well for Ecuador. John Yaboa off, and he's going to be replaced by number 11, Kevin Rodriguez, coming off the back of a title in Belgium with Union Saint-Gilloise. Sandro lifts it down the line as Vinicius Jr. tussles with Ordonez. It's a throw for Brazil. Kevin Rodriguez straight into the action. Brought down by Casemiro, but it will be a throw for Ecuador. Good challenge from Casemiro. Certainly seems to have relished his return to international duty this evening, the 33-year-old. No one will have been happier to see Carlo Ancelotti unveiled as the new Brazil coach than Casemiro. Vite looks for Estupinian on the overlap. Asks too much of Estupinian, and Bruno Guimaraes is across the cover. Gets his body in the way. Estupinian drives a shoulder into the back of Bruno Guimaraes to give away the free kick. Again, calmly done by Vache. He's had a very good game coming in at the last minute for Hernan Galíndez. Vite. Here's Alan Franco. It's lacking that little something in the final third tonight. Ecuador, and that little something may have been Ener Valencia. Come forward again, Kevin Rodriguez on the edge of the area, goes down under a challenge. Nothing there according to Piero Massa, but quickly won back by Caicedo. Estupinian. Back to Angulo, here's Caicedo with space to deliver inside the area. This is what he goes for, Rodriguez challenges. Casemiro's there again for Brazil. It's Ecuador pushing, looking for a late winner here. Melonius. From side to side, looking for space, for ways to trouble Brazil. Estupinian seems to be everywhere now in central midfield, uses Caicedo. Angulo pulls it back to the edge of the area. Might fall, does fall awkwardly inside the 18-yard box. Alexandro hacks it away. Suddenly, Brazil look a little flustered. Angulo goes on the outside of Vanson, who just about recovers position. And with some help by Bruno Guimaraes, Brazil are able to win the ball back. This is the foul, or not given, on the edge of the area. It's Kevin Rodriguez. Look to fashion a shooting chance. Casemiro just coming in from behind and maybe catching the thigh of Rodriguez. Would have been just outside the area. Casemiro voicing his discontent in that brief delay and exchanging opinions with Alan Franco. Locals whistling their disapproval of how long Brazil are taking to get play back underway. Another sign of progression as Ecuador hungry to take more than just a point from this visit from Brazil. Is the home team looking more likely into the final 5 minutes as again they come down the left. Angulo loses his footing, and now Bruno Guimaraes intelligently wins the free kick. Bruno just making sure his run goes right across Angulo. As soon as there's that contact, goes down, knowing he'll win the free kick. Clips the ball down the right side, it's flicked on. Alan Franco can't bring it under control, however. Sebastian Becasese is getting ready to make the third change. Jaime Medina, another one of the talented young players to have emerged from the U20s in recent years, who also made the move to Belgian football with Genk. He's getting ready to come in. Caicedo, watched carefully by Casemiro. Good pass out from Marquinhos to find Alexandro. Brazil very deep in the final 10-15 minutes of this game, struggling to find a way forward. Substitutes, Martinelli, Matias Cunha struggle to have much involvement. Here is Matias Cunha. Didn't quite bring that one under control. And Bruno Guimaraes commits a tactical foul there on Moises Caicedo. A little fortunate not to earn the game's first yellow card there, the Newcastle captain. Just back from suspension, he missed the game against Argentina. Bruno Guimaraes. And now Ecuador will make that change as Nilson Angulo comes off to be replaced by the number 8, the 20-year-old Jaime Medina. Made his debut in the reverse fixture of this 1-0 defeat against Brazil in September of last year. Medina will be a free kick this time for Ecuador into the final minute of the 90. Estupiñán takes it short. Vite. Who's just Caicedo. Caicedo delivers into the area. Marquinhos reads it and he's there. Matias Cunha is able to turn. Can maybe bring away Brazil on the counter-attack. Here's Bruno Guimaraes. Down the line for Vinicius Junior. Watched by Preciado and brought down by Preciado. Still able to release the pass, however. Casemiro looking behind. His pass clatters into new Manchester United teammate Matias Cunha. It's Cunha who moves it on to Van der Sar. Here's Martinelli, who's barely had a touch since he came off the bench. And we tick over into stoppage time here in Guayaquil. Bruno Guimaraes looking for Vinicius Junior. Too much on that pass, to the frustration of Brazil's number 10. Four minutes was what went up on the board. As Bruno Guimaraes goes down after misplacing that pass. Looks like a bit of cramp. It's been a long season for Bruno Guimaraes. Barely missed a game for Newcastle in what was a triumphant season for the Magpies. Captaining them to their first trophy in generations. Such writing his name into the club's history books. And of course guiding them back into the Champions League as well. But his evening ends there, replaced by Fulham's Andrés Pereira. Caicedo under pressure as he receives it, fouled by Andre Santos, who will soon to be his Chelsea teammate. Ecuador will take it quickly and on the break here. Estupiñán, options out wide, and Estupiñán goes alone. It's a goal kick. Estupiñán feels it should be a corner. And he had Medina outside him, asking for the ball. Estupiñán went it alone. Cleanly won from behind, according to the referee. Van der Sar brilliantly intercepted by Pacho. Great defensive performance once again from the best defence in South America. Looking to keep another clean sheet. And again, Ordóñez perfectly positioned to stop Vinicius Junior. No need for any silliness at this stage, as we just wait to hear the final whistle. Alan Franco, Kevin Rodriguez can't get away from the clutches of Alexandro. And that should be it. Extra minute being played here by Piero Massa. Unlikely to make any difference to the outcome in a hard-fought game. And there is the full-time whistle. It does indeed end. Ecuador 0, Brazil 0 here in Guayaquil. A share of the points. Carlo Ancelotti off to a goalless start as manager of Brazil. A rueful shake of the head from the Italian, who will have seen plenty there to learn from and look ahead to Tuesday's home game against in-form Paraguay. One of the more difficult double-headers for Brazil, with Ancelotti in, away to Ecuador and then against Paraguay, rejuvenated under Gustavo Alfaro. A lot to digest, a lot to dissect, and a lot to evaluate for Carlo Ancelotti. Another terrific performance from Piero Incapié, the captain of Ecuador. He and William Pacho and Joel Ordóñez, excellent along the back line, and little wonder to see all the boys making a beeline for Incapié. Well, there's Enner Valencia, absent this evening. We'll see if he's fit to play any part on Tuesday night away against Peru. All smiles now at full time there. Of course, William Pacho and Marquinhos, the PSG teammates, just a week on from lifting the Champions League trophy at long last for PSG. And a strong Premier League presence as well. The long road that is South American World Cup qualification is nearly done with. These two sides will be taking their place almost certainly
Nico pass, Palacios. Tagliafico was asking for it on the left. Palacios steps on it, leaves it short to Molina. Back against the man from Bayer Leverkusen. Molina, bad ball from Argentina. Alexis Sanchez, Evo Martinez. First chance of the match was for La Roca, was for Chile, after that major mistake in the back line of Argentina. Suazo. Isarro, and you can listen to the crowd. Chile, Chile, Chile from the stands. Sierra Alta, Maripan leaves the ball to Cortés. First spell of possession for La Roca. Sierra Alta, Cortés